Hello everyone, I'm Fabo and I'm the lead singer of a Swiss band called Halfway. I would like to thank first of all Delma Jack Records for letting us doing this video interview. So we will start straight with question number 1, which is how did the history about Halfway begin and when did you start to play? So I started to play first guitar when I was around 8 years old. I remember being on a holiday with my parents in London and they bought me my first really tiny guitar. Then when I was 15 years old I took a few vocal lessons, and from that moment on I really started to play and to sing together and to have my first musical projects. About the history with Halfway, I remember being in studio in 2015 that I was recording my first real record with an acoustic duo that I still have. And I remember speaking with our sound engineer, that it's actually still nowadays our sound engineer. And I remember telling him that I wanted to create something new, that I still had few songs. And actually he introduced me to our guitar player called Ruska. And then along the way, along the Halfway, we met Mrs. Evelyn on the bass and Mr. Marco Cuzzovaglia on the drums. Question number 2 is, have you ever played abroad or in another state of your country? The answer is yes. As mentioned before, we come from Switzerland, and Switzerland is a very, let's say, fragmented country, mainly because we have mainly 3 languages. We have the German part, which is the biggest one, we have the French part, and then the Italian part, which is the part where we come from. So we speak Italian, and as you can imagine, having 3 languages and different culture, sometimes it's hard to reach the German part or the French part, which are the biggest ones. But fortunately, since last year, we started to play in the German part and in the French part too. Mainly in the German part in Zurich, which is the biggest city in Switzerland, and then some other small cities such as Lucerne or Solothurn. Those are German names, but yeah. So we played in the German and the French part too. And then thanks to Alpha Omega, which is a booking agency that works with us, we played abroad. We played last year. We've been to Ukraine 2 times. First time in Kiev in a huge festival called Atlas Weekend. Then we've been a second time to Ukraine in the south part in a city called Kherson. And then January 2018 we played in Russia, 2 gigs, one in Moscow and the other one in St. Petersburg, opening for a big Italian band called Vanilla Sky. And so yeah, those were amazing experiences for us, and we are going to Ukraine again this summer, in Kiev again in another festival. Another question from Delma Jack Records is, which song do you feel the most? So this is a very tough one, because I remember once looking to a video interview from Jacoby Shaddix, the lead singer from Papa Roach, and when they asked him this question, he just said like, do you want me to pick my favorite child? Which, if you think about it, it's more or less the same thing. So it's very hard to answer, but if I need to pick one song, I will go with a song that it's included in our first EP, a song called None of Us. And I will go with that song mainly for the lyrics, because it just speaks about an amazing experience that I did a few years ago in a summer camp. And it just speaks about how incredible and awesome it is to live, let's say, 2 weeks with 10 or 15 people that has the same objectives and the same goals. And it just creates this alchemy which is very different from what you're used to live in the regular days. And this alchemy, I call it friendship, and actually I'm still friend with all the people that were there. And so for this reason I will pick that song up. And about the rhythm, I will pick another song that it's a new song that we haven't released yet, but that we play live, and it's a song called Come Along. And it's a beautiful song for me because it has the right grooviness in it and well mixed with the right melody, and the combination of those two for me are very good, and this is the reason why I love this song. Last but not least, do you have any plan for this 2018? Of course we have them, we always have plans. Usually we try to focus ourselves in the live performances, but this year we want to release our first album. We already have 6 songs out of 10 or 12 that we want to put in our record. And next month we will start to go to the studio to start working on our new stuff. And hopefully for the end of the year we will have our first real album done. But as mentioned before, we try to focus a lot in live performances too, and that's why we're going back to Ukraine again. And we have few concerts here, and that's more or less it for our 2018. I would like to thank you for watching, and thanks once again Delma Jug Records for letting us do in this interview. I'm Fabo and I'm the singer of Halfway. Thank you so much for watching. See ya!